Hello folks, another one on the 16th of October. I'm going to keep this up for a little bit. So, replying to DIGIVOXJ23. This was in response to my 33 months of pure judgments, 3 days without a defense. And that was referring to us judging crisis actors for 33 months. But after being called out for saying you don't have the logic to declare it with surety, 3 days have gone by and none of the experts who claim to be experts are giving us any responses or any defense or any justification as to why they think they can call people crisis actors. All right, so getting into it, no one, this is what he's saying, no one needs to be an expert to know bullshit when they see it. Robbie Parker is, just to name one. Is it credentials you are looking for? Who the F needs them? I'm going to try to keep my swearing to a minimum. So, Robbie Parker, to name just one. I've been thinking about the Robbie Parker case. I'm an ex-Mormon, just like Robbie Parker is a Mormon. And let me tell you something. When you have a family in Mormonism, you are what's called, and you're the man, you're what's called the priesthood holder. And you're supposed to be the one to have the power of the priesthood. Okay? This is just one example, one personal, emotional intelligence response to this. Okay? So, when you're the priesthood holder in Mormonism, they don't have any power, trust me, but they believe they need to have the power to get all of their family through to the afterlife, okay? So when you have that mindset, when you have that mentality, you're going to do everything in your power to try and get the rest of your family through, to not perish in disbelief, to not go around doubting God or doubting the church for, they've done all these good deeds, but now they're getting repaid for losing a kid. Now, I'm not saying he's not a crisis actor, but now that I've been thinking about it, I want to give you my own personal story. I lost my mom about, it was last, we're going on 2 years now. It was last 2 Christmases ago, all right? So 3 days after. And it was my sister who called me to give me the news. And I still remember that day. And when I was on the phone with her and I got the news, my first response, because this is the way that I think, right, was don't cry. Because she was just, you could hear her being devastated, okay? So when you hear a loved one, when you hear a loved one wanting to just tell you something, the most horrible news you can possibly hear, all right? And you hear that pain in their voice, all right? Now, not everybody is like this. I'm not expecting people to do what I did, but there was no crying in my voice when I was speaking to her, all right? My only thoughts in my mind was to try and comfort her. Okay, and that can bleed over. So what the type of emotion that I could understand him having is in public, show no fear, show no hurt. When really inside you're dying. Okay, don't tell me that I didn't have these emotions. Don't tell me that when I was at the funeral for my mom, when I was reading I was one of the speakers. I was one of the people that read a scripture reading. All right, and I think I cracked a little. I think I did a little. But when I went up there, I read that proud because that's what my mom would have done, I believe. Or my mentality was to go up there and say it proudly. And I also, as you have seen in my other videos, is that one of my ego defenses, which I'm not excusing, it's not necessarily a good thing to hide these things, I laugh when I'm in times of great despair. I shouldn't. It's not healthy to do. However, it's understandable when these are some of your pathologies. Okay? So I'm not trying to yell at you. I'm just emphatic when I hear this because I'm now going back to my own way and I'm just trying to connect with you, whoever you are, Digivox. I know we've had some conversations before, good and bad. And I've heard you also say some good stuff too, and I'm not saying this isn't. I can see why you would think that way. However, not everybody thinks like you, okay? This was not my mentality. In fact, Robbie Parker acted a lot like I did when I lost my mom. So when you say, were you, like, if you were there around me during the time that I had lost my mom, when I was speaking to people, I tried to act strong when I was behind closed doors, I was screaming, "Mommy, mommy," crying my ass off. Are you going to tell me that I was lying, that my mom died? Just wondering. And I'm not trying to yell or anything like that, but I'm emphatic about this because these are people's emotions and you may not share them. But it doesn't mean that because they don't share yours, that they're lying. So I've been going at this with a logical approach, but now you hear my emotional approach on this. Well, I got a kitty here trying to get in the way. So that's just one more reason that I haven't brought up, because it's too painful to bring up. And instead, I go to you guys and I act like the strong, tough guy sometimes when really I'm crying inside. So don't tell me that because people don't act like you, maybe they do. In fact, a lot of people, when they call bullshit, for example, narcissists will call out other narcissists because they project, they see it upon themselves, right? Well, project is not the right word for that, but they are seeing themselves and they don't like it. So they go against it. So maybe in your life, you are just like it and you don't want to admit it. There's 100 different reasons. I'm not telling you how to feel. I'm just saying that that's one alternative. And that's what I'm going on, so we can actually add that to the list for another reason why these people wouldn't show emotion. Thank you for proving it. And folks, this has been the Ottawa Expositor. Please keep them coming because this is an important conversation whether the experts want to enter it or not. Because they're wrong. They don't have proof to call a crisis actor. Kitty. Yes. Okay. Have a good one, guys.